What if I'm part of the problem? There's a moment in conflict that most people don't want to talk about. It's a moment where, if you're honest, you start to wonder, what if this isn't just about them? What if I'm part of this problem? Most people move past that thought really quickly, not because it's wrong, but because it's uncomfortable. I'm Carl Peaster, and for more than 3 decades, I've worked with leaders in high-stakes environments, healthcare, executive teams, physicians, surgeons, nurses, where conflict is not optional. And one pattern shows up over and over again. The leaders who get better are not the ones who win more arguments. They're the ones who are willing to look at themselves. Let me say that again. They're not the ones who win arguments. They're the ones who are willing to look at themselves. And boy, that mirror can be nasty. The hard truth is, in most conflicts, both people contribute. Not equally, not in the same way, but both people are in it. And the moment you assume that you have no role, you've just limited your ability to influence the outcome. Because you can't change them, but you can change how you show up. So where does this show up? This doesn't always look obvious. Sometimes it's a tone. Sometimes it's timing. Sometimes it's the way you frame a question. Sometimes it's the assumptions you bring into the conversation before it even starts. And sometimes it's this. You're so focused on being right that you've stopped being effective. If you stopped watching right now, it would have been worth your time. Let's say that phrase again. You're so focused on being right that you've stopped being effective. So let's look at a different question. Most people walk into conflict asking, how do I get them to understand me? A more useful question is, pretty obviously, what am I doing that might make this even harder? What am I doing that might be making this harder? The question doesn't make you weak, but it sure can make you more effective because it gives you something you can actually work with. Now, so what does this require? This requires a level of awareness that doesn't come naturally. You have to slow things down. You have to be willing to notice your own reactions. If you want a wonderful read on this, go to Daniel Kahneman's incredible work, Thinking Fast and Slow. Response 1 is reactive. And that's necessary sometimes. Response 2 is where the real traction begins. You have to be willing to notice your own reactions, defensiveness, frustration, the urge to interrupt, the need to correct. And instead of acting on them immediately, you pause. The pause is where your influence starts. So a simple way to start. If you're in a conflict right now, try this. Before your next conversation, take a few minutes and ask yourself, what might I be contributing to this? And I just want to warn you, on these questions, avoid the fast answers. I just got off the phone with a client that I work with, and he is brilliant. And one thing I encouraged him to do, because he's facing a major concern, and he was ripping through solutions really fast. I said, call him John for confidentiality's sake. John, I want you to get into a place that has a blank wall in it, and I want you to get a big pad of Post-it notes. And on each of these questions I'm asking you, I want you to write out your answers. And then I want you just to sit and look at them. So you can answer really fast, what might I be contributing to this? But you'll gloss over, I almost can guarantee it. So take time. What might I be contributing to this? What assumptions am I making about the other person? What would it look like if I showed up differently? Don't overcomplicate it. You're not trying to fix everything. You're just trying to shift one variable, and that's you. So why does this matter? Most conflicts don't stay stuck because of the issue. They stay stuck because both people are waiting for the other one to change first, and nothing moves. The moment one person changes how they show up, the conversation changes. Not always immediately, not always completely, but it changes. So So in closing, let's go over a couple of items. If you find yourself in conflict and not moving, don't just look across the table. Take a look at your side of the table. That's where you're sitting, because that may be the one and only place you actually have control. And in conflict, that's where progress begins. If you're interested in improving how you handle difficult conversations and conflict, subscribe to the channel and follow this series on conflict resolution. Before we finish today, let me leave you with one thought. Leadership often shows up most clearly during difficult conversations. If that's something you face in your role, we've created a free guide called Influence Under Pressure, the Leader's Guide to Difficult Conversations. It walks through a practical approach to handling those high-stakes moments well. You can download the guide using the link in the description below.